Hello there, friends, and welcome back to Planet Coaster and Completely Average Gaming. And not to mention, welcome back to Average Kingdom. This is our wonderful park in the making right here, and we're going to be making our first coaster today. If what you see on screen isn't enough clue already, I'm gonna be so honest, blunt and honest, that I'm gonna let you in on a secret just from the get-go. I'm no expert in coasters, and I'm no expert in Planet Coaster for that matter, and hence this is just gonna be sort of like how I seem to remember having one of these coasters in the local park for me. More or less, I mean, it is a bit bigger because the scale here is a little bit bigger than what I'm used to in that regard. I'm gonna switch up some settings here in order to hopefully try to get it underneath there, but nope, just won't do it. But you know, should have maybe gone back and just changed the height there by 1 from the get-go. But no sir. I'm gonna make it more difficult for myself, you know. And that makes it, that connects it up. Even allows for a little bit of a block section there, so we can have a larger throughput of coaster trains, which is absolutely superb. Of course, that doesn't really make it up the hill there, so we're gonna cheat a little and just put in some drive tires there on the back. Of course, when testing this thing, as you'll see in a minute now, it has a little bit of a weight on the top of the train there, not on top of the train, but on top of the hill there. But when later on, spoiler alert, later on when guests start showing up, that weight is non-existent, because I guess use longer to get on the train, the coaster train, rather than compared to what it does when it's just testing out. So that's something fun. This coaster, like the building for the coaster here, is gonna need a lot more work and a lot more finesse, so to speak, before it's done. We're gonna throw down like a basic look of it today, and then later on we'll actually get to the point where we can, at some point in the future, we'll manage to put it all back together in a more respectable manner. I mean, I feel like it looks completely fine the way it turns out later on now, but it's not really respectable. It's a big square thing. That's all that it's gonna be. At least for now. The main thing was I wanted to have a coaster down, so some work on that, and I feel like it turns out fairly well. The coaster itself, that is. And you know, I'm learning as I go here, and I'm not superbly good as of now, but I feel like I'm getting better and better the more I play. I really wanted to get that thing underneath there, couldn't really manage it, and I mean, the queue itself now is fairly short, and I soon realized that this doesn't feel right. There's something that doesn't feel right with it, and I do switch up the queue line there in a second, because it might just be me, but I feel like usually when you're queuing for or this might just be me in the local park here, usually when you queue alongside the coaster, or alongside the coaster station. But that might just be from the memory I have of the local coaster. I think it's called the Loop. Believe it or not, very original. It's got one loop on it, and that's about it. The actual coaster is not made or semi-modeled after that, but the train station, at least the actual platform of it, is sort of modeled after that. And you can find it if you go to if you Google Tusenfried, a weird and funky name there to Google. Good luck figuring out how to spell that right. I'll try to leave a link for it in the description of the video. And there are a couple of coasters there that this is kind of mixed together into this one. Obviously, this one is more aimed at kids than the Loop is. The Loop is sort of like young adults. It's the main focus group there for the ride. Yeah, I will be so blunt and honest, and admit that I didn't really look too much at any of those when I built this. But I'd still say that it turns out looking more or less like it. I'm just placing the Archer down to see how we're doing in terms of height of the building here. And of course the Archer is not going to stay there. Or a limit to my lack of knowledge of how scenery work. We will be working on it here for a little, trying to figure it out. No, I take that back. I make just a simple roof for now, but I do take most of it away again. Between episode 4 and 5, both of which are recorded, none of which have voiceover yet. So yeah, we'll come back to the roof here. I'll showcase what I've done with it at a later date. I'm really not happy with how this coaster station turned out. But you know, only one way to fix that, and that is to go back and fix it. So that will definitely be something to do in the future. I tried to wiggle with the queue system there in order to make it pop out in the middle rather than, you know, not in the middle of two what do you call them? Two roof supports. But I end up giving up. This is as close as I get. And I tried to make it do what I want it to do, but it doesn't want to do that. And I also wanted to have sort of like the one side of the railing to be the wall rather than it being a railing right next to the wall. I don't feel like that's something. I don't feel like you would do it that way necessarily if it were to build a queue system, because you know, in terms of how much the coaster costs, railing is or fences are really not expensive at all, but it's still money going out of the pocket of whoever's paying, and most people don't want to pay more, too much more than strictly necessary. Anyhow, even though this isn't necessarily a budget park, it is a more budget park than, say, Disney and Universal, who can just blow money on making things look good. Not everyone got that luxury, I suppose. So yeah, I did mention it in one of my other videos as well, but I suppose that goes to a fairly different audience, with Victoria there. I'm gonna be away this week, which means there will be a little bit less videos out. I was hoping I could, you know, pre-record enough videos for the week, but I must apologize. There's just no way I can make that now. I recorded a couple episodes of believe it or not, I recorded a couple of episodes of Sim Airport. Just realized that I didn't have my microphone on for any of those. Hashtag that awkward moment. So yeah, the roof here, I mean, for those of you who are already shouting in the comment section and caps lock and with all sorts of funny business in terms of you know, exclamation marks and whatnot. Don't worry, the roof here gets changed, you know, in not all that long. Not this episode, but you know, the continuation of this. The roofing here will be changed. I'll showcase that probably, if I remember to do so. I'll do so in episode 6, which isn't recorded yet. Episode 5 is gonna carry on a little bit of a surprise there for those who are following along religiously, being with us all along. Very much appreciated, by the way. I'm like I'm not really sure if this really fits in here. The ivy or the wall flowers, the wall decoration here. Not really sure if that really works at all. I feel like it's a little bit of a clash with what's actually going on the other side of this in a little bit. You'll see it. Well, we're gonna do some decoration along the ride as well, and I'd say that this really doesn't necessarily fit with that. But then again, maybe. You guys can be the judge of that. I think you're probably better judges of that than I am. Speaking historically here. But like in the end, I do sort of feel like this entrance area sort of looks decent. Not to the level of holy smokes, that looks amazing, but you know, holy smokes, that looks decent. Which, you know, is a huge turn up for me. Really getting things going. Obviously, we're gonna have to wiggle this around a little in order to make things fit the way it should. When I later on, when I go down to look at how it looks from the actual queue system, I do feel like the flowers might be a little bit tall, so I might go back and like push them further down into the ground. But I haven't done that yet, and I might just forget. I'm that kind of person. But yeah, I feel like it looks alright for now. But we're gonna be throwing some more stuff in here. I think the more stuff in here, I'm not sure is coming now or between the recording here and the aftermath. No, it's coming now. All right, I'll take it back. I'll shut up and sit back and just let you guys look at what I'm doing and look at the craziness that is happening here. That didn't work, but there are many ways to Rome, as one says. All roads lead to Rome, and this being one of the roads. I try some creativeness eventually, but yeah, that's not gonna work either. That might have been like if I were to go back and redo this, or I will be revisiting this at a later date, but when I do, if I remember to do so, I might want to do some change to where the path actually goes, so as to get a little bit of a wider water area in front of the ride. And that brings me back to why this. I'm not going to say that yet. You don't have to wait in huge suspense here, rather than me telling you before we get there. Obviously, this is going to need some fencing, custom fencing. I go with very, very boring set of fencing here. Just you know, plain old wood and wood smashed together to form a wonderful rail or fence. Maybe it works. It looks cheap. I'll say that much. Or I'll give you that much. Surely looks cheap. But we'll see if we'll actually keep that or not. I think at a later date. I also moved the decorations here around a little because that really fills in the gap between the fence and the wall. And I also do, and there's going to be a cut here any second where I go and try to figure out what to do with the space in between there. I tried to fiddle with some screens and some craziness and go all apeshit bananas on up in this place. But it really doesn't fit the place. And throwing that little barrel right there, I think that barrel on the left there has to be moved, and I'll throw in some flower bed or some crazy. Also, don't worry, these lights will be moved. They clip to everything, and they're, yeah, I'm not sure what I was thinking here. Probably something crazy going on, and somehow I managed to forget about fencing the other side of this thing, which is ridiculous. Who does that, you know? I'm gonna do something that you've probably never seen before. Right, so that's gonna be the entrance area. Not much happening there. Just to have some action in the front as well, I'm gonna throw down a couple of splashy thingies, water splashers, which you know is fun. All is fun in love and war. Now for the actual ride decoration, that's gonna be coming down any second now, and you see what we're going for here, because it's simple. The ride itself, the coaster cars, has some dragon. There is some dragon coaster cars, which and dragons are also child friendly, or they're not really child friendly, but they're part of what children look at and enjoy and have fun with. So that's sort of the plan behind these. The whole ride is not going to be scenerized or themed or whatever you want to call it. And of course I go with these magma plates. Not magma, the lava plates. I'm not sure what they're called. Scorched earth plates. Not really sure whether they have any reason to be there. Same goes with these little fireballs coming out. Not really sure about this. But then again, it feels kind of cheap. It feels like the cheap exit. I think that might be the thing I should really go for. Try to make the triggers here work well. Try to make things not clip. You don't want your kid's head bumping against the freaking dragon there on your way through. And it doesn't seem like it doesn't it's not that obvious in the time lapse here, but when you look at it in real life, you see that there's some minor clipping on the left side there, and that's something I'll definitely go back and fix. And I go all crazy this time with like the theming, not in a good way. This becomes all crazy. I mean, sure, knights were, you know, in most fairy tales, some knights swoop in and come save the thing, save people. But they usually don't fight each other over it, right? Maybe throwing in some princes somewhere would have solved a lot of the issue. I don't know. I honestly don't really know. I tried to have like a little bit of a head, you know, dodge the roof kind of thing where one goes through a little, very short man-made tunnel. You know, ruins of a building is what it's supposed to be eventually. Or ruins of a cave. I honestly don't know what I was thinking here. I must have been drunk or some craziness. And I wasn't, and that's kind of scaring me right now as I see the footage played back to me. But you know, it is what it is, and naturally this is something that we'll have to come back to and have a little bit of a look at and try to make this more, I suppose, legit. This is, don't worry, this is going to be better than it is right now eventually, but not by a lot, unfortunately. And you know, that might not be the best selling point. I mean, the ride actually do not clip here, where the dummy sitting in the inside of the thing, inside of the coaster cart, actually doesn't clip here, and that's amazing. Pure and utter luck, all of it, nothing but luck. Is all it's about, basically. Yeah, I mean, I tried to go all bonanza crazy to some degree here, but I suppose it's just not my type of thing. I should probably have some help with this. And now last time I talked about I want to get someone in to help with some of this stuff, and I've gotten a green light from one of my gaming friends and YouTube friends, Eddieman Plays. We've had quite a few collabs together on Victorio, and that's been awesome, great fun. I tried to find the object there that is clipping the rails. I eventually just give up and decide I'll come back to this, or I'll lose it. So yeah, he will be coming in and helping out a little, and I'm not going to say more about it right now, but there's some decent plans for that. So hopefully you guys will stay tuned for that. I do try to find something that will make like this little entrance thing here a little bit more interesting, and I end up with snakes. Of course, the snakes, so small and so you know, basically small, and you go past them so quick. I don't think it actually makes any difference that they're there. Look at, you know, maybe something else would help, but no. But I think I'll just leave you guys there for today. Hopefully you all enjoyed the episode, even though it was a little bit all over the place and maybe not the best of theming and scenery work. Hopefully you guys will come back for the next episode, which probably won't be out until the end of the week. Till then, hopefully you guys stay safe, stay cool, and stay frosty. And I'll leave you with this until the line section in any minute now. Till then, stay cool and enjoy, I suppose. Alright then, we're back. And as you can see, I mean, you've probably seen what's been going on, and it's to work on this little coaster here. Thinking it still is going to need a bit of work. It looks kind of plain and square at the moment, which is something we'll want to fix. As for this little item over here, might have been a little too narrow. I just really struggled with finding something that could fill in the gap back here, because right now it's this one dragon, a couple of knights over here, and that's it in terms of stuff happening along the ride. For what it's worth, though, I think most smaller, more budget kind of parks do tend to have large gaps of absolutely zero theming. I mean, some rides in larger parks even have spotty theming, but this is ridiculous. It's not supposed to be this pale and bland as it is over here. But we'll look at that and fix that at a later date. For now, I'd like to thank y'all for coming out and joining me for today. If you enjoyed the episode, please be sure to smack that like button. It means a lot, and it would also be of great help and mean a lot if you could subscribe to the channel. That is, if you want to stay up to date on all things average, then the channel is the place to be for you. As for a scenic kind of exit shot here, I don't know. There we go. Maybe not so scenic. And the railing here also needs to go on the other side, just so you don't worry about stuff like that not coming down. That's gonna come down. Alright, till next time, cheerio.